Hi everyone, welcome back. So for today's card, I am making a slimline card. So I have a card base there, which I believe is 3.5 by 8.5. And then I'm using Mama Elephant's Zodiac Rabbit and also Mama Elephant's window dressing. I used the scalloped piece for the main backdrop, which we're going to ink in a minute. And then I used the sort of plain section. And once I'd cut that out, I used some Spellbinders circle dies just to create 3 circles in it, so just for something different. So I'm going to use Evergreen Bough Oxide ink, Distress Oxide, and my cut up maybe waffle flower mixed media matte. If you want to check out that video as to why I decided to cut that thing up, by all means, go and check it out. I use it much more now, and it works much better for me, and you'll see that in that video. If you want to go and check that out, that'd be awesome. So I'm just getting the color onto this panel. I'm not being careful about how it goes on. I don't actually care how it goes on. It's just going on. I just want some color in the background and some texture and just some interest in the background. So just getting that on there. This is actually a makeup brush, but there are blending brushes all over the craft world now. But they just come out, I think, back then. And then I'm using a distress sprayer to spritz on some water to give, again, some more texture. But my distress sprayer is obviously having a fit today because it did loads of big splotches. So I do leave it and I like it, so I use it in the end. But that wasn't quite what I was going for. I was going for more of a light mist, and it just kind of did that. Still, with the oxide ink, it gives you that nice oxidized look. So it still worked out really nicely. So for the white panel that has got my like circles on it, I'm going to take some about 1 mil thick or high foam and just add it to the edges and the center so that it sort of lifts it up, so it gives a bit of dimension, but it's not too bulky for postage and stuff like that. I just thought that would add, again, more interest to the card, and yeah, a bit of dimension on what is really a simple card. There's nothing much else to this other than a few characters, the background piece, and this panel. Pretty much it. So very simple card to make. Also, the white cardstock that I've used for the scalloped piece and this circle layer is box standard cardstock. It's actually thinner than normal cardstock. You guys know, if you guys have been here long enough, you know that I use anything. I'll try anything, and I will use inks and water and sprays and whatever else on it and just see what happens, because I think not everybody can either afford or has those fancy papers that are meant for, you know, mixed media or watercoloring and things like that. So even the cheaper watercolor papers that I do have, and I will try them too, I'm not afraid to do that. They sometimes work out, sometimes they don't, but I try them as well, and I think that's important to do, is to play with your product and try these things. So back to the card. This panel, what am I trying to say? The green panel is just going to be stuck flat to the card base. Now the card base is a thicker cardstock. This is actually Nina 110 cardstock. I happen to have a few sheets left of it, but if you have a thicker card base, I just think it adds stability to your card, and just, I don't know, I just think it makes it almost a little more professional. Is that the right word? Like, it just, I don't know, just makes it for a nice card. But the layers that you put on there, especially if you're adding bulk with foam adhesive and that, if they are thinner cardstocks, it also adds less weight to your card. So a good card base, I think, is important, but it, again, doesn't have to be expensive cardstock. It can be a cheaper cardstock as long as it's nice and thick, and a heavier weight for the base. Now this is where I went to stick this on here. Because of the ink, I didn't think it was going to cling quite so much, and it did. And just FYI, I'm at a weird angle because my main camera overheats. So I was on a roll with my cards today, so I decided to do this one using my phone, so that's why it's a weird angle and all that fun stuff. Probably not going to do this again because I had to kind of like straddle my tripod, and that's also why I'm not quite centered in this card. Anyway, what I decided to do is, once I had the white circles on, I decided at that point to stamp my sentiment. The sentiment comes from the same Mama Elephant Zodiac Rabbit stamp set, so the sentiment's right there for you. So again, this is really easy. You don't have to go searching for another sentiment. And then I thought it would be good to add some dimension to the rabbits. So I'm using I want to say a 2mm thick or high foam for the rabbits. And then when it comes to adding the little accessories on, I will use the 1mm thick again. And the reason I'm doing that is because the white circles that's up on 1mm thick foam. My rabbits are on 2mm, and so when I come to putting the balloon on, I need the same 1mm again, so that it kind of levels those things out, so that you haven't got that weird wonkiness between the rabbit, the circles in the background, and the balloon layer. If that made any sense. So basically they're all fairly level by the time you finished with it. And then just for fun, I added a little bit of foam to the carrot and the strawberry as well. So there you have it, guys. You can see how nice and squonk it is, but I'm not going to worry about that anymore. So I hope this was still inspiring, given that it's not the best video. But I hope you try something like this. Keep it really simple. One stamp set, one die set. Well, there were 2 die sets, but keep the layering really, really easy, and get your craft on and get these things made. This is the whole point of this, is to have some fun and to make cool projects. So I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and until next time, bye for now.